Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning. Okay, as you all know that we have definitely need to conduct online classes, but I am choosing to record this lecture video so that easy for all of you to um, watch or view at any time anywhere. Alright, so I will definitely upload these lecture videos in probably islands or shared it in WhatsApp to your class rep. Alright, so hopefully that you will get as similar as we conduct our face-to-face class, right? So in tutorial room, right? So this is chapter 2, fundamentals of tourism, travel motivations. Okay, so for second chapter we are focusing on the travel motivation, what motivates people to travel. Alright, on chapter 1 we are covering the overview, alright, the perspective of tourism until we know the possible careers in tourism. So second chapter is travel motivations. Motivations means what motivates people to travel, what are the reasons. We want to know why they decide to leave their home and go somewhere, travel. Alright, so why do we need to study travel motivation or the motivation of people to travel? Because of we want to know, we want to understand them. Okay, by understanding your clients or your tourists, then only we can fulfill their needs and wants and requirements. As we ataupun as I already mentioned in class that different motivations of people to travel, it will lead into the different requirements for us to fulfill. Alright, so we go, so you can refer to your slides. Okay, alright, so these are the learning outcomes. At the end of this topic, you should be able to discuss travel motivational theories, identify tourism market segmentation, determine specialized tourism markets, tourism segments. Right, so what has motivated people to leave familiar surroundings and travel to distant places? It's not that easy that we want to decide to leave our familiar surroundings to travel. So definitely we want to understand them, all right? So basically in chapter 2 there are several theories. Okay, in chapter 2 there are a lot of theories for you to understand. So it's quite challenge for you, especially part 1, all right, to understand theories. But this is a very basic things that we want to understand people. All right, so theories is actually developed by scholars or academicians in order for them to formulate it in a form of probably model, all right, or theory. So first theory, this is a very basic, a very simple theory in tourism motivation. We call it as push and pull motivation. So travelers are both push. Push means you tolak, pull means tarik. Apa yang faktor yang menolak, alright, people to travel, and apa juga pula faktor yang menarik people to travel. So travelers are both actually being pushed to travel by personality traits or individual needs and wants, and pulled to travel by appealing attributes of travel destination. So the meaning of push means it's actually the motivation comes from the inner part of the travelers or tourists. So dia punya kehendak daripada dalam hati, what they want. Okay, what are their inner reasons for them to travel. But for the pull factors means what are actually the attributes. Attributes mean ciri-ciri, characteristics of the place, alright, of the attractions that pull them, alright, to travel. Alright, so maknanya itu faktor luar. Alright, so kalau push itu adalah more pada inner personality, faktor dalaman yang menolak. That's why it is called as push. Alright, so pull is actually apa faktor-faktor luar yang berada di destination or attractions, alright, yang menarik mereka, alright, to travel. So the push motivations are useful for explaining the desire, kehendak dia untuk travel, where the pull motivations are useful for explaining the actual destination, what are the characteristics, their unique characteristics probably that actually pull the people to travel. So that's the difference between push and also pull, right? So these are some of the lists of push and pull factors. Alright, so push factors means ini yang semua daripada dalam diri kita, what are actually our inner reasons to travel. So we do have the desire for escape. Kita nak lari daripada all the busy things that we face routinely in our daily life. Rest and relaxation, to have rest and relaxation, to keep fit, for our health, alright, to join any adventure activities, for prestige. Yeah, there are some people is actually travel to show their status, alright. Some of us actually memang ada that kind of intention. When go travel, we want to show to the world that we have money, alright, and we are actually able to travel, right? So that's also in the push factors. Social interaction, probably the people is actually looking for making new relationship with new people, right? Novelty seeking, alright, they are seeking dia punya macam muhasabah diri lah, alright. Exploration, to explore something, alright, or to learn new things. There are actually many other factors, but this is just some of the listed factors. So how about pull? Pull factors yang I kata tadi is actually the characteristics available in the attractions or destination that pull people to travel. So for example, listed here dia kata beaches. Beaches means the scenery of the beach that actually pull our attention to travel. Recreation facilities, probably because of the facilities is definitely latest. Alright, so historic sites is very popular with historic sites in the destination or attraction that pull people to experience. Because of the reasonable price, this is a very strong motivation that actually attract people to go. So itu maknanya faktor tarikan lah. Cultural resources available in the destination, undisturbed nature, ease of access. Ease of access means accessibility probably to enter certain countries. So probably there are a lot of options for people to travel. Maybe they choose destination A because of it's much more easier for them in terms of do not need to apply visa, for example. So that's ease of access, maknanya accessibility, easy for them to enter, right? Cosmopolitan environment, probably because of the environment there is actually pull people to travel, and also because of the shopping facilities. Okay, for shopping facilities can become yes, it is actually pull factors, but when we talk about shopping, the desire to shop, yang itu push. That is push factors. But for the shopping facilities, let's say lot of parking availability, convenient, right? So options of shop lots available in the shopping mall, itu pull factors that attract people to choose the shopping mall, shopping facilities. Itu beza antara kalau you answer, okay, let's say they ask you to list push and also pull factor. If you state push, state shopping itself is actually a push factor. But for shopping facilities, it's actually a pull factor. That's a difference. Okay, right. So again, this is a very simple theory. Okay, second theory is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Right. So second theory is Maslow hierarchy of needs ni. Okay, I believe that some of you actually already recognize or know about Maslow hierarchy of needs, maybe. Alright, so namanya pun hierarchy of needs. Bila hierarchy is actually there are some ataupun ada certain needs that we need to fulfill first before we go to other types of needs in our life, alright. Before kita go to the tourism elements, so this is just a general hierarchy of needs as human. Keperluan kita sebagai manusia ni, what are probably the hierarchy of needs. So we need to fulfill the very basic needs before we can go to, or before we can fulfill to the less important needs in our life. That's the meaning of Maslow hierarchy of needs. Alright, so a general framework for describing human needs through hierarchy to explain human behavior and motivation in general. So meaning that this theory is not actually specifically for tourism, but it's actually a general motivational ataupun needs fulfillment, alright, for human. Okay, the very below part of the hierarchy is we can say that is the very basic needs for human to fulfill. It is called as physiological needs, or certain books they label it as basic needs. Okay, physiological needs is actually basic needs for human to continue the life. Example of physiological needs, we need to have our water, drink, air, udara, alright, for you to continue your life, alright. So that is a very basic needs. Ataupun you perlukan tidur, you perlukan rehat. So that is a very basic needs, okay, for you to fulfill. After you fulfill your physiological needs, safety needs. Safety needs, probably you need to keep your health in a good condition, because if you do not have a good health, definitely you feel insecure, betul? Alright, so that's also example. Or certain people, maybe they would say that job is their safety needs. If they do not have job, how can they continue their life? So this is job security. So it actually depends on individual, alright, in order for them to do hierarchical of needs, right? So next is belongingness needs. As human, it's a very common for us to be togetherness, to have togetherness. Alright, so we want to be together. Tak ada siapa nak forever alone in this world. Alright, so belongingness needs, so relationship, friendship, alright, so love, relationship, so any social relationship that is also to feel togetherness, belongingness. Kita perlu rasa kita diperlukan antara satu sama lain lah. Alright, so next is esteem needs. Esteem needs, or also called as ego needs. So as human also, everybody has ego. Okay, okay, in our life, generally ego probably what makes you proud. For example, as a staff, maybe you ada apa, kenaikan pangkat, alright, so that's also one of the esteem needs. Okay, ego, alright, ataupun you something that we feel we are actually lebih daripada orang lain, so that is esteem needs. So next needs yang atas lagi adalah self-actualization. The highest one is self-actualization. So self-actualization means in our life, kalau kita dah fulfill semua needs, sebenarnya self-actualization ni, if you do not actually achieve it or fulfill it, tak masalah pun, tak mati, alright. But then it's just, as human, it's normal for us, kalau selagi tak dapat, selagi tak, ataupun selagi tak fulfill requirement tu ataupun needs tu, kita rasa sentiasa tak puas hati, betul? As human, kita akan rasa sentiasa tidak puas hati. So self-actualization means people yang memang nak try something yang memang jarang orang buat, alright, ataupun dia saja nak memang puaskan hati dia yang betul-betul. So in his or her life, they think that dia nak buat something yang memang the highest achievement in their life. But again, it's different actually between one individual to another individual. Where kalau macam kita sekarang, let's say you as a student, what is actually yang you rasa your self-actualization needs, yang you rasa you dah pernah capai? Probably kalau you kata you have already entered this IPTA or university, that is your self-actualization needs currently, right? So mungkin masa you dah lebih lagi, dah berumur lagi, mungkin you nak seek for lebih higher kind of self-actualization needs. So I would say that different people might have different view in terms of fulfilling their self-actualization needs. Definitely it's different. Kalau orang tu kata that is the highest achievement in their life, yang itu pula kata no, that's a very common, so mungkin dia ada lagi something yang lebih better in terms of fulfilling self-actualization needs. So it depends. Okay, so generally hierarchy of needs ni actually how we prioritize the hierarchy of needs, fulfilling needs based on the importance. Okay, alright, so what is actually how we relate Maslow hierarchy of needs in travel and tourism activities. Now kita tengok macam mana kita nak adapt dia. So how the concept of Maslow hierarchy of needs applied in tourism. So let's say in order for us to fulfill our very basic needs yang tadi kan, air, water, shelter, right? So in our tour package, for example, dia kata ada certain client yang mungkin dia seek for a tour package that offer frequent rest stops. because of mungkin dia punya nature is actually they want to